Let's dive into flowing today, because when we talk about flowing, letting go of control, we're talking about this in the context of consciousness, in the context of intentionality, of being present and aware, tuned in to your heart and your soul, and letting go of the conditioned mind, of the logic, of the way you think you should do things, and trusting and honoring the knowing of your heart, of your soul, of your truth. And this is different from flowing unconsciously. And I've heard a few people talk about flow outside of the context that I just shared. And when we flow outside of that context, we are flowing into old patterns, old ways of being, conditioned fears, programming. And that is when we create the same situations, the same partnerships that don't work, the same problems, the same chaos, because we are unconsciously flowing from our conditioned way of being. That's not what we're talking about. Flow intentionally includes pause. It includes pausing to tune into your aliveness, to your truth, to drop from the mind into the body, to feel your next steps, to feel your aliveness, and then consciously flow, consciously step from your knowing, which is very different to unconsciously flowing from your repetitive patterns and fears. Anytime there is fear, it's not your truth. Anytime we act from fear that I might lose something, any fear, we create more fear. It is not in the alignment of who you are. So when we pause, when we drop in, when we feel the fears and then come back to our truth, come back to our knowing, feel what our joy is, where our aliveness is pulling us. And it doesn't have to make sense in the mind. Often we want to take the next step that makes sense in the 5-year plan, and that's going to get me to this spot, that's going to get me to this spot. Flowing is letting go of the mind and dropping down into the body, into your knowing, the knowing of your soul, and flowing with life, trusting that as you take one inspired step, a whole array of possibilities open up. And then you feel into your inspiration and you take the next inspired step and a whole array of possibilities open up. And when we trust the flow of life to move through us, to flow through us, that's when the synchronicities happen. We meet the right people at the right time. We're in a state of joy because the ride is fun. We're allowing it to be fun. We're not in a state of, this is what I have to do because I've been told that I have to live my life this way. We are honoring our truth, what feels good for you, your soul, your aliveness, and flowing intentionally, which includes the pause. It includes a pause and it includes the permission to do life your way, to honor your truth, to honor your joy, to honor your aliveness, and give yourself that permission. Because we are unique beings. We are unique fractals of consciousness who are here to carve our own paths, not to follow someone else's path. To give yourself permission to be you, to do life your way. So tune into your body, and the more you listen to your knowing, the louder it becomes. The more you honor your knowing, the more you see it is always in alignment. And every time we don't, every time I know I need to cut this friendship off, but I don't, because I'm in my old patterns of people pleasing, of putting other people's needs before my own, I dim my light. I cut off a part of my knowing. My intuition is more quiet. So every time we listen and we know that our knowing is always in alignment with our path, and we honor our knowing, we listen, we honor, we're devoted, the deepest devotion to the knowing, to your truth, to your path. Because you are here, you are a unique soul with a unique life purpose, with a unique life mission. So being devoted to yourself, being devoted to your mission is not selfish, it is for the highest good of all. And that level of devotion to honor your truth, to honor your knowing, to honor your intuition, when you can get in that flow. And we mess up, we're humans, I mess up too, and I don't listen sometimes, but then I catch it. And I go off course and I see that that doesn't work. I go off course and I see that I'm in my old patterns, I'm repeating old ways of being, and then I come back to my truth. And I listen to my knowing with the deepest devotion to my path. And the more we do that, the more we come back to our truth, back to our knowing. The more we listen and act, the more we got to be in congruence with the wisdom that we hear, with our intuition, with our hearts, our souls, and our actions need to be in alignment. And as we are aligned, our energy can flow. And when our energy can flow, the life force energy can move through us, can pull us to exactly where we're meant to be on this path. So aligned flow includes this relationship to your knowing. And your knowing is calm. It's never a frantic fear. It's never from a place of lack. It's a calm, grounded knowing. And we always know, we just don't want to hear our own truth sometimes. Because then we have to cut off that person, which is uncomfortable. We have to have a hard conversation. We're afraid we're going to be perceived in some way. But the more you can be devoted to your knowing and act and follow it, the louder it gets. And the louder it gets, and the more you know your knowing is always your path, and you are devoted and you listen, the more opens up in your life. The more you can step into your mission and into your path and into your purpose. And when each of us does this, it's like this beautiful ripple effect. We are here to create impact. Each and every one of us in our own unique ways. So listen, pause, honor your knowing. And when you go off track, it's okay. But come back to your knowing. It's a process. And when we allow ourselves to enjoy the ride, to follow our joy, to follow our aliveness, more joy and aliveness comes. When we allow ourselves to drop into our hearts and into our souls, to act from a place of love and kindness, more love and kindness comes. The outer is always a reflection of the inner. So the more we can cultivate inside what we desire on the outside, the more we are in frequency to receive that very thing we desire. If you want belonging, belong to you. If you desire love, open up to the love that you are. And walking your purpose is listening to your soul, listening to your heart, listening to your knowing, because you do know. And honoring it, being devoted to it, just being in devotion to your life path, to your mission, to your purpose. Let it flow.